Peace, everybody. Undefined Existence, Michael Rains. My last video, What is Yourself? I talked about how we identify ourselves, in this case through our mind, and we call that us. We have this collection of voice in our head that it's just observed everything in our experience, and it pitches these ideas, and everyone has their own, and so we think ours is us. We think that is us, the solid core of us. Most people think is mind, because I have this opinion about this and I think that, and you have this opinion about this and you think that, and they have this and they have that, so everybody seems so different. Just like with your physical body, I'm over here and you're over there, so it appears like it's easy to see that everybody's separate. But as I touched on in the last, hopefully there was some few choice words in there that can help people realize that, we aren't the self. That is not the self. And once you focus on just that thought, nothing but that thought, just focus on the I am, nothing else, then it becomes more clear. It's the clarity begins to happen, and you see that the only thing in your way is yourself, and pretty much society and everything else just prevents you and just creates separateness. And it's just like a big game. That's all it is. But once you let go of that feeling, then you can start to experience and see the oneness with nature, the unity. You can begin, and you focus on, I spoke about the motion, how everything is in constant motion. The trees, our brains, the organisms, it's constant motion. So once you focus on letting go of yourself and can really dive deep and let go and see that there is no separation, the next step is to be focused on the motion. Just focus on just a wave of consciousness. Just picture a wave of consciousness and think about how everything's moving, and just think about those two as one and put them together and to see it. Then it's just an ocean of bliss. You have to think your mind is just as part of nature, just as much as your physical body is. And it's like I said, I have these thoughts, so that's me, your physical body. I'm over here, you're over there, and separate, right? Separate. But wrong. It's just your consciousness is just a growing process, and like any other growth, it's just part of evolution. Because you think people were like, well, there's this oneness, and at one point in time, we all were this oneness, and we had complete unknowing, if you will. Unknowing. No one knew. We were just oneness. There was no ego, no separateness, and it was just an unknowing knowing. And so now you want to get back to nature, and you want this and that, and people think, well, why? If you come from this oneness and you separate, why should you get back to the oneness? And it's just like any other part of evolution. It has its growing process, and it's done what it's needed to do. Because think about it this way. Imagine if the universe, unknowing, we exist, bliss, it'd be peace. But if the universe can experience itself without knowing and learn the knowledge to know, there's a depth and a more beautiful, just a deep knowing, and it's ultimate bliss, ultimate love. If you experience yourself without knowing, and through the knowing process you gain a beautiful enlightenment, if you will. It's like if you could see the ocean and talk about how beautiful the ocean is for the rest of your life because you've seen it. But then imagine one day if you could actually swim in it. That's kind of the unknowing. It's a beautiful thing. People take it for granted or make the ego seem as a bad guy, but it's had its purpose, it's had its due. But the key is getting back into that unity with nature and seeing the beautifulness in everything. But Undefined Existence, Michael Rains. Thanks.